Hello, everyone. Welcome to Community CPA's webinar. My name is Catherine Tran. And as you know, Community CPA is a full-service accounting firm, audits, taxes, payroll, business consultation, you name it. So part of our work is sharing resources with the community. And that is what we've been doing on Thursdays. It's kind of our day where we get to invite guests to come and share about resources in the community, especially those that are supporting immigrant minority businesses and communities. So today we have Stephanie Morris with us. She is the executive director of the Refugee Alliance of Central Iowa, which is an organization that provides with a group of providers, government agencies, religious groups, nonprofit organizations. It's a membership organization that serves to address the needs of refugee communities in Iowa, and Stephanie can tell us more about that. But the World Refugee Day is coming. It's June 20th, and this year it is kind of a different model, as you can say. They're still working to adapt to COVID and adjust that to the community. So Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on and sharing about the history of World Refugee Day, as well as the initiatives that will take place. So brief overview, if you can, about World Refugee Day and history here in Des Moines.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So World Refugee Day is June 20th, and that was a date that was established by the international organization that oversees every single refugee, asylee, displaced person in the entire world. And that's the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, or UNHCR. So this date was established to help really honor the journeys that refugees make when they are forcibly displaced from their homes through their temporary residences all the way through to where their permanent homes become. And so it's also, in addition to the journey, it's also a time for us as a community to really kind of step back and appreciate all of the different ways that refugees, that former refugees and immigrants, all the ways that they make our community better for everybody.
Yeah, awesome. So can you tell us a bit, for those who don't know, a bit about the refugee resettlement in Iowa and the demographics?
Yeah, yep. So we have been observing World Refugee Day here in Central Iowa for about 10 plus years. It's been a while, but refugee resettlement. So on that topic, I will always preface that conversation by mentioning that migration is definitely in all places of the entire world has been happening since the beginning of human history. But that in the modern resettlement program as we know it today, that was really established after the fall of Saigon in the mid 70s. And a lot of people don't actually know, but Iowa, our smaller, less well-known state actually plays a really large leadership role in the international scene of resettlement, really due in large part to the long legacy that our former governor, Robert Ray, left. And so Iowa is actually pretty well known as oftentimes a leader in this resettlement space. So yeah, since the mid-70s, Iowa has resettled over 40,000 people directly. We obviously also have a lot of people that have come in from other states or second, third generation. I mean, we're talking easily 100,000 plus, people that came to Iowa somehow or another through refugee resettlement.
And then, so in terms of the impact of refugees on the state, do you have any data regarding that?
I do. I think that the last time there was some hard data collected was the New Americans report on the economy. And that was Oh goodness, way back in like 2017, I think. But pretty clearly lays out how refugees and immigrants, pay millions into taxes, billions into local state economies. We have a lot of small rural communities in particular who could very happily attest to the fact that their economies or school districts or employer, all of these different systems were revitalized, or in some cases, I mean, just, very simply saved from refugee and immigrant communities throughout Iowa. They held, our food production, our agricultural system, our advanced manufacturing, I mean, really large parts of the Iowa economy intact during COVID. And obviously, also contribute, just ways that I mean, so many different ways that I wouldn't have time to list, to just the overall cultural tapestry of the state as well.
Of course. And that is, of course, important, right? So as you're thinking about World Refugee Day in terms of RASI's work in it, what has the event been like in the past? And then what are the events going on this month?
Yeah, good question. So for people that have joined us in the past, I think they're accustomed to this kind of large one-day, very big in-person celebration that we always look forward to. We have food from dozens of local refugee immigrant-owned restaurants. We have performing arts and music and poetry. There's storytelling. A lot of different activities and different like crafts and other things for families and for kids. A lot of our larger community partners have booths to share information. A really sometimes heated soccer tournament, a really fun tournament. I mean, it's just really a day that we all come together and celebrate, again, all of these ways that refugee and former refugee immigrant communities, make our community better. The last 2 years, due to COVID, especially considering, these communities were often disproportionately exposed to and affected by COVID, with the, different essential worker statuses that a lot of the industries that refugees or former refugees are employed by. We, the last 2 years were strictly virtual, but we still found really great ways to be able to celebrate, ways for people to engage and learn about this, ways for us to support locally owned businesses. But this year, after feedback from the community again, we decided to offer a kind of month-long series of different events that people could participate in. And there's stuff that's, outside. There are things that are small events. There are things that are, things that you can do on your own. So there's really a way for everyone to participate, just, kind of no matter the comfort level or, with COVID or any of the other considerations we have going on.
Okay, so can you explain some of those, the schedule, I guess, for the events?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So all month long at Colby Park in Windsor Heights, we have a Refugee Resettlement 101 fact walk that is printed on outdoor slides. So you can actually, we try to encourage people to get outside, get some vitamin D, or in cases like this week, maybe after the sun has gone down and it's not too hot, but you can walk around the outdoor pavilion out there and learn about actually the history of resettlement and some really great data on why resettlement is so great for our state. I'd also say that, the city of Windsor Heights, I think, has a couple of family story times and an event, Night in the Heights, coming up too, that people can go to and check it out. We also had a screening of the film Flee, and this is a man's recount of his story fleeing Afghanistan 20 years ago. It just won a bunch of awards at Sundance and other film festivals. That was at the Des Moines Arts Center, so we're grateful to them for that partnership. But that film is actually still available on Hulu. And just for anybody that wants to check it out, I mean, it's just for so many reasons, not just a refugee story, but a lot of different stories. But an incredible film. And also thanks to Capital City Pride for partnering on that one as well. We have 3 different Guess Who's Coming to Dinner events where people can come experience different ethnic cuisine and other educational information from, we had one with Vietnam Cafe where people could learn about the Vietnamese community. We had one at Tito's Lounge in Urbandale where people could learn about our Bosnian communities. And then we have our last one coming up on June 27th, and that's going to be at Kathmandu, where people can learn about our large Bhutanese community in central Iowa as well. That's in partnership with Cultural, and it's a ticketed event, and tickets are $25. We also have an event, it's an exhibit actually at the Franklin Library, and it's called Let Me Be Myself. This is an exhibit actually from the Anne Frank Center, the Anne Frank House out of Amsterdam, and in partnership with the University of South Carolina, who's their partner here in the United States. But it's an exhibit where people can take guided tours, or they can do a self-guided tour during library hours, where people are able to learn about really the dangers of discrimination and how that can turn into persecution. And it's like so many, just so many conflicts that are still really sadly just very relevant today. We have a lot of communities experiencing forced displacement for really similar background issues. This Saturday, we also have two Global Green Farmers Market cultural performance celebrations. That's going to be this Saturday, the 18th, and then next Saturday, the 25th. Performances will happen between 9 and 11 a.m. But Global Greens is actually an agriculture training program that Lutheran Services in Iowa offers. That is a program where we have a lot of refugees that come with a ton of agriculture experience. But obviously learning how to, use the soil here, and the weather here is different, the climate. Also the hugely, regulated system and the political system kind of behind the agricultural world. So teaching them how to develop those new business skills here, and be able to utilize their skill sets, their passions for agriculture or farming here. But they have a farmers market every Saturday morning at LSI, that's 3200 University. So right behind there, they have a farmers market that sells that produce. So we're going to have a lot of really great performances at both farmers market, again, this and next Saturday.
Awesome.
Also this Saturday, there's an open book event with Cultural at Juneteenth at the Neighbors Day celebration downtown. So we're going to have storytellers, they're open book tellers, where people can come and learn about a lot of the different, there are of course people that are that were born in the United States that are part of this, but also a lot of our African diaspora, different, there's a lot of Central South American countries as well that have a lot of Black communities. And so people are welcome to come out and be able to connect with and hear stories from different neighbors here in Central Iowa. The last couple of things really quick. On Monday, June 20th, we're partnering with Art Week to offer a World Refugee Day Festival from 6 to 8 p.m. That will be at Perkins Elementary School, and with the Franklin neighborhood there as well. There's going to be food trucks and music, performances, family activities, and a whole bunch more, and that'll be for free as well. So, and then lastly, there's two other ways people can really participate as well, just kind of like on their own. And that's, we have a list of refugee immigrant-owned businesses, restaurants and grocery stores in particular. So if you're wanting to try new food and get out of the house, or order carry out and eat at home, a great way to support those locally owned businesses. And then of course, we always sell our I Am Iowa merchandise, which is a design that our World Refugee Day Planning Committee designed, and friends at Ray Gun Print. And so if you purchase from our website, 100% of those proceeds actually go directly to World Refugee Day.
That's great. Any other things that people should know? What are the best ways to connect with you and to the events this month?
Yeah, on the Rossi website, which is refugeeallianceofcentraliowa.org, there is a landing page specific to World Refugee Day. And so that has all of the different events and links to partners. Also, of course, if they follow There it is. Thank you. Our Facebook or Instagram, people are able to connect with and see the different announcements for different events coming up. So Catherine, if you scroll down, there's just kind of further description of everything that's going on.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. And as well as your team. So Stephanie, anything else you'd like to share with our audience? Thank you so much for your time today. And
yeah, I would say, yeah, the only other thing I would say too, I know some people, we have a lot of people that oftentimes after participating in the different World Refugee Day events will ask how they can help or get involved with refugee resettlement. And so I know obviously Afghanistan, Ukraine has been, very much in the media over the past year. But if people are interested in helping or wanting to find out more about how they can help with refugee resettlement, that same ROSI website, the homepage, the very first 2 content blocks have information about how people can actually connect with the resettlement agencies. They always need volunteers. There's ways to make monetary donations, household donations. But yeah, I mean, that again, our legacy really, our long-standing legacy in refugee resettlement really exists and is what it is because just of the broader community support that it's had throughout the years. So if people ever want, have questions, again, the direct links for all of the resettlement agencies in Iowa are right on that page.
thank you so much, Stephanie. I really appreciate your time and just you being here. So thank you for the work towards these events. And we're hoping to catch some of it this month.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. We really appreciate it. And again, if anyone ever has questions, they're always welcome to reach out to me directly as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next Thursday. Take care.
Thank you.